Hello and welcome to Rantcast episode 7, Star Battling Across the Universe. Today I am going to talk about what is probably one of my most favourite games to play ever, Star Wars Battlefront 2. I've spent a lot of time playing the PS2 version. I've also played a bit of the PC version. When I was trying out the Star Wars conversion pack, which I call the Mod Rule Epicness. It was made by someone called Maverichel. I will link to those in the description and talk about it a bit later. Before I continue, I do want to say again that I do love the game, but I will spend a lot of time today talking about how amazingly buggy it is. And that's really one of the reasons I am making this video, because I don't know if it's just the PS2 version and it was a bad port, or whether it is that buggy across every device it plays on, but I'm just going to list some of these bugs and why they're so annoying, and hopefully get my point across. There are invisible enemies, which you can't damage, but they can damage you. You sometimes get damaged for no reason. There are enemies who won't die. There are walls you get stuck in. There are invisible forces which push you off cliffs. And there's just terrain which breaks in every way conceivable. And that's just the bugs. There is also the AI. The friendly AI is unbelievably stupid. It will jump off cliffs, it will throw grenades at you, it will constantly walk into your line of fire, which causes you to accidentally kill it, and it takes points off for friendly fire. It will obscure your view. They will push you into enemy fire or enemy grenades. They will push you off cliffs. They will stand around doing nothing. They will refuse to return fire when they're dying. They are inaccurate when they do fire. And generally speaking, they make it so that the game is much easier to play when you don't have them turned on. And the enemy AI is overpowered. So it is challenging, but it's not because they're smart, it's just because you are outnumbered, outgunned, and just outmaneuvered, and not in a good way. You can't think your way around them, you've just got to bulldoze past and hope that they don't actually hit you. There is also enemies that spawn at your spawn point. There is a particular level, Mustafar, where they will just spawn right at your main spawn point, even if they don't have a spawn point in the area. And also there's no concept of territory, so if you capture a spawn point, they can spawn pretty much anywhere within their spawn region, even if you have enemies controlling a large amount of land. So if you have friendly AI along a whole corridor, then reasonably it would be that the enemy can't spawn in that area, but they do anyway, and then they just throw a grenade and blow everyone up. The story doesn't make sense sometimes. Particularly, I've been playing recently the Death Star prison break level, where you play as the 50 prison officers, and the prisoners have escaped, which is all very well, except the enemies have unlimited numbers, they have all the troop classes, they have all the weapons, they are able to travel in every single area, and you're locked into this linear gameplay, which means that essentially you can only go a specific way at a specific time, and they can go anywhere they want. And that doesn't make sense because they are prisoners. Even if they did escape, they would be low numbers. They would have not much weaponry at all, and they would have a very limited area in which they could travel in. The game gets repetitive as well sometimes. The space battles in particular get repetitive. And apart from that, the game can go from being too difficult at the beginning to when you start getting the awards or the leveling up, it just gets way too easy and you've got to create a new character. But I do love this game anyway. It's insanely fun to play when you're with friends. It's got a large number of vehicles which are fun to control, fun to use. It's got a lot of variety in the troop classes, in the vehicles, the locations, the weapons and the game modes. And the mod that I mentioned earlier is one of the most amazing mods for it I've seen. It pretty much doubles the amount of content in the game, including game modes and maps and everything you can think of. And I will at some point be attempting a dual commentary on Star Wars Battlefront 2 on the PC version with that mod installed, so hopefully that will be up at some point in the future. And that's pretty much all I have to say on it. I would like to see your thoughts below. Goodbye, Internet.